Hello everyone. I finally got around to working on the new generation 9.5, and today we're going to be installing this backup camera into the factory navigation radio. Pretty simple, other than the hardest part that people deal with was programming it, but I'm going to show you guys all how to do that yourself if you have the tool, which is I'm using the VCX Nano and it was 85 bucks. So works great. It's a little time setting up, but it's cheap, and you could also use it for Tech 2, for like a Tech 2 interface. So it has a lot of functions, so you don't need to buy an MDI tool, and there's also cheap MDI tools on eBay, but this VCX Nano works great for me. So to get started, we need to get this camera mounted, which I think it's a pretty small camera, which I'll link it in the description, but I'm thinking right to the left of the Saab, right here, oops, right in there somewhere, but back of course. So first thing we need to do is open the trunk, which is not going to work with the button, so we'll open it with the key. Don't mind my messy trunk. And we're gonna have to remove this light bar to get it installed. So we're gonna have to pop out all these clips, which there's a million of them, and then you'll have two 7mm right here. You're gonna have to pull down this plastic cover as well, and I think that's it. So let's get started pulling out all these clips. Using plastic tool, sturdy. Okay, so now that that's out, now we're on to this light bar. As you can see, there's 10mm all throughout it. I need to unscrew. Hopefully, let me grab my light. Let's go with 10 while we're over here. Okay. So there are 10mm for that light bar all back here, and then there's clips at the end that you need to squeeze together to get it out. So let's take off these 10mm first. Okay, so these clips back there, because if you have these angle pliers, they're super easy to squeeze. Just like that. Sorry, couldn't record up there, but you just need to squeeze those. I use these, you probably don't have to, but made it easier for me. So now the light bar should be ready to come off. Okay, so we got that last clip undone. And then this should lift off. Be very careful. And there it is. Okay, so now let's set this down so where we won't damage it. Now for the fun part. Okay, so here is the camera, and so we're going to fish the wires out here, and I think I'm going to put it right in here. Not too far forward because I don't want it sticking out and looking ugly, but not too far back where it's going to be, you know, half the view is going to be in the light bar. So I just want to make sure you're careful on where you put it, because you're going to be drilling through this and you don't want to hit anything inside. So I'm going to take this actually piece off, and comes with the hole saw, this camera does. And you don't have to do this camera, you could do pretty much any universal backup camera. And on my truck, I actually have one that is like the license plate frame, and you could do that if you don't want to drill into your light bar. That'll work 100%, and then it'll be even easier because you have to deal with all this mess. But I want the OEM look, so we're gonna take out these 4 screws here for the trunk switch, these two for the lights, for the license plate lights, and then this piece should come off. So I'm gonna do that next. Okay, we have that drilled. I'm gonna grab the vacuum and give it and vacuum it out, but that part is done. See this tab right here? I'm gonna, oops, right there. I'm gonna cut that tab off because all it does is hold this plastic piece on, and there's plenty of them, and I don't think it's gonna really hurt anything too bad if we do that. So I'm gonna cut that off real quick. You probably don't have to, depends on the camera you get, and you could put it in different places so you have more room, but that's where I wanted it, and so that's where it's gonna go. So now, feed these through. Might need to go a little bit more with work it in. There she's in. So yeah, if you install this camera where I put it, you're gonna have to cut that bottom bracket off because it's super close fitting in there. So let's see what it looks like now. So should be pretty well hidden. We will see when it's on the car. Of course, it's gonna be down more, and you shouldn't be able to see that. So we're almost ready to get this back in. So we just gotta route a few more wires. Okay, now we're gonna, hopefully that's gonna fit through, and it will. Pull these wires out of the way. Okay. Now, as you guys can see, hopefully we have the camera installed, which we're gonna turn like that. And we need to cut a tiny little slot in here so we can fit the wires through, and then we'll put some gasket maker on there. To do this, you can use a razor blade, like so. That's just so it gives a nice clean cut. I'm gonna do it right here. Be careful. But I need to get that, I need to get it a lot hotter, so I'm going to use a torch. Okay. Don't touch anything. Okay. Notice how nice that cuts. Now I just need to cut it that way, but I'm going to heat it up a little, one more time. Okay, now you can see that we have a little slit in there for the wire. We're gonna run that through like that. I'm gonna use some black rubber sealant to put on there. Okay guys, and that is it for installing it on your light bar. So next we're gonna put it all back together and start running wires. So, okay, so next you got your light bar back on. You can put your 10mm bolt all the way across the back on it, and then we'll start routing wires. Okay, so now that your 10mm are all tightened back up, we're gonna start running these wires. And so I'm gonna grab some zip ties, zip tie it to there, gonna run it down to this channel into here, and we'll tie our power into a ground and into the reverse light on the tail light, and I'll show you which wire that is. Okay guys, so we got the wires just ran down through here in the factory loom and down into here, and you could see down there, that's where they come out, and we tied them into the wiring harness right there. So let me just tell you that you guys will not need this red wire right here. If your kit comes with, not all of them do, but if it does come with it, you don't need it. Just tuck it away, just like that, or cut it off. Okay, you see all that's ran up there to the camera right there. So to get this part out, you're just gonna have to push the clips in to remove that tray, and you have access to this wiring harness. So that for the camera power, you have the red one's the power, black one's the ground. So you have a green and white one, and that is for the reverse light power. And then for the ground, I just use this big black one. And actually I'm gonna push that in a little bit better. And now you don't have to run them actually all the way over here. So let's see. So that one right there is a reverse wire. That green and white / yellow one. So you could hook it up right here and then hook it up to a ground or ground it on the body. But I traced it out to here and just did it right there, so it's all hidden and you can't see it. The next wire is your video wire, and that is right there. And what we need to do now is run this one, this wire, all the way up to the radio. So to do that, I'm gonna start by running it through here and under the seats and under the carpet, and just go from there. So I'm not gonna really record that. It's just because you guys could do that however you want, but we'll just run it, tuck it in all under this plastic, all up into the dash and then behind the stereo. So there are a million different ways to do this. Follow my way, which I'll try to record. If not, then you could do it your own way. But should be pretty easy. Okay. So, and it's kind of dark, so I don't know how well this is gonna be. So we know the cable's coming through. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna record me running the wire. I'm just gonna show you that I'm gonna run it down through this black cover, down this plastic, trim all the way up into the dash. So it won't be hard. Just gotta remove this plastic. And if you're already doing this, it's not super hard to remove the plastic. So I'll catch up to you guys when I get to the front. Okay, so just some quick tips. There's a little slot right here that goes all the way to the back. Pull it up. Pull up your armrest. It's literally just pull back on it and lift up. Just be careful. You probably should unhook your battery, just because this is an airbag and everyone thinks that they could go off, which I'm sure they can, but I've never had them go off. So just be careful. And maybe I was supposed to do something with this. Oh yeah, I'm sure you're supposed to pull it in, but mine just came right off super easily. So yeah, just pull this side piece off. You see there's a little spot down here that sits right into that spot. Pull that off, and we're gonna run it down through this plastic and up there. Okay, so we have all the wires ran. We have those ones there, and we ran it, of course, right there, down through here. Oops, gotta fix that. Okay, sorry about that. Drive me nuts. Okay, so we ran it down through that, down underneath that plastic. I didn't show this because I just literally pulled back this trim, tucked it in, unclipped it right here. Which, come on, you dumb thing, needs to be. I gotta push that back in a little bit better. Up through here, and just put it all in there for now. Next, we need to take off the dash, which is going to be, we're gonna have to pry this up right here, and then there's quite a few things you gotta do. But I'm gonna conclude this video here just because it's gonna be super long. Maybe I won't, but I'm gonna conclude it here. And if you guys have enjoyed this first part so far and found it helpful, give me a thumbs up, or subscribe, do something. you know, I do this for a hobby and on my spare time, and it takes a lot longer recording than it does just doing it. So I'm trying to help you guys out here too. But in the next video, we'll wire it to the back of this and program it. Maybe we'll just wire it in this video. But thanks for everyone for watching, and part 2 should be coming out soon. And if you have any questions, just comment down below and I should be able to answer them hopefully.